Really disappointed. I just saw a sign that said it was 32 miles to the next town. A long time ago it was 32 miles. But wait a minute, I just found Superman. I didn't realize Superman's name was a little bit different than what I thought his name was. Check this out. Schlippers? Superman is Schlippers. Who knew? But there he is. I found Superman's retirement home. But yeah, I mean, when I was outside of town on the other side, it was less than 32 miles to go. I went through town, so I was expecting the sign. I was kind of amazed that the first number on the sign was a 3. I was hoping for 29. Knew at worst 30 miles to go. Turned out it's 32 again. Last night, the longest sign turned out to be the only correct one. It was the longest distance, so it did get longer. It wasn't my imagination that Hoaxie was getting further away. Hill City is getting further away too. I'm sure before I get 32 miles, it'll be further away than 32 miles. This is just a little bait and switch, or maybe it's a teasing act that they have with numbering their highways in the distance. Let me see. I left the little place we camped. First 4 people I talked to knew we had stayed there. We were 1 mile out of town. Well, maybe not a mile out of town, but a mile off the road. And the first 4 people knew we were there. Kind of interesting town. I talked to these 3 old guys in this abstract place, title company, and they said, oh, I mentioned that in Colby they were talking about the pivots and the use of water, and he says, oh yeah, we used to fish all the time. Says, where you stayed, everybody knew where we stayed. Says, yeah, it's great fishing. Says, there's not a drop of water and hasn't been water there for years. Says, there's no water in any of the creeks in here. Says, there's no surface water. It's all been drained, and they're draining all the underground water. And this greed is just, in 50 years, we'll live in a desert because there won't be a drop of water left. So yeah, there's still a lot of hatred for converting to growing corn for ethanol, and then now using all the water resources to grow that corn. So everybody's up in arms. I can't wait to see, because 20-some years ago I heard them complaining about converting corn to ethanol in the Iowa. So I can't wait to go through Indiana and those places and see after 20 years how they've refined and their hatred of this federal program of not growing food but growing fuel and using all the resources for fuel rather than food. Okay, whine, whine, whine. That city's never gonna come. Bye. Hey, it really is a nice day. It's overcast still.